And you saw Josh McDaniels at Justin Fields' second pro day. He spent time with Kyle Trask in Florida, likely a second-round pick. With Kellen Mond of Texas A&M, likely a second-round pick. They've gotten to know these guys and understand, can they come in here, pick up what we're trying to do, and be a fit.
Welcome to the 62nd edition of the Yo Soy Fiesta podcast, and it is draft day. Maybe definitely the number one part of the offseason, but maybe one of the best days of the year. It's like Christmas. Everyone's even. Said this last week, but here we are. It is officially draft day, and I'm so happy it's here.
Likewise.
I've been.
You sound ecstatic.
I cannot wait to get disappointed tomorrow.
I know it. I'm excited it's here because I'm so sick of every. Like, I think this is the latest the draft has fallen in a while. It felt like it should have been like 2 weeks ago.
I think you're right.
You know, like even if it isn't,
like
it felt like it felt like it should have been a week ago. So we've had way too much time to overanalyze every single pick and go through every single guy and run through every situation. Gilmore getting traded, JC getting traded, both them being used as trade bait.
Jimmy Garoppolo getting traded to
Julio
us.
Jones. Are we trading up? Are we trading down? Or which quarterback do we like?
There's so many holes on the team that like any prospect could come to us.
Every single quarterback has been tied to us in which fashion. We've gone through Justin Fields' epilepsy. We've done all the stories.
Davis Mills, Kyle Trask.
Done with
Mac
it.
Jones.
I want it to be here. I want to get through it. I want to have the guys. That is where I'm at with it. I'm sick of the reports. I'm over it. So. Yeah, like you said, I'm excited to be disappointed, but I'm not going to be disappointed because I'm not.
I'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I'm not going to set expectations for the draft. You know, like I don't know I'm fine with it. You trade up, trade down. Well, there's a couple things that would disappoint me, but for the most part, I get disappointed. I will enjoy, no matter what happens.
I enjoy the draft.
It being like as a civil war. It will be a civil war at probably what time we pick 15. I'd say about 10:36. Someone on the social media waves of the Pats is going to lose their mind over whatever happens, whether it's sitting pat at 15 and taking Devontae Smith or not. But yeah, it's
no. At this point, I have gone all the way into saying I do not want Devontae Smith here for one reason. He said he wants to wear number 6, and I am not allowing any wide receiver to come through the Patriots.
That's a red flag.
To wear a single digit. Unless it's Gunnar Olszewski go back to number 9, I feel like, or N'Keal Harry 8. I feel like those are the only acceptable ones. But there's no way I can allow Devontae, like I have any say in it. There's no way I can root for Devontae Smith.
I can't root for him if he's wearing number 6. Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I think we've talked a ton about where we're going up. So let's take the reverse of that to cap off the final bit of our draft talk and talk about trading down. Matt, I think you called this to our attention at least first. We have a huge gap in picks. You've done 300 mock drafts. What's the gap?
Yeah, so 15 to 46 obviously isn't a big gap because it's the same thing. 15 picks in the first, and I believe it's 15 picks in the second. But then the 46 to 96, that's where you lost the Bengals, right? Because that whole shenanigans and stuff like that was obviously
for cheating
not actually
again
happening. But 46 to 96 is a huge drop off. I think I told you about this, Grant. Like that's where guys like Winovich, Damian Harris, Anthony Jennings, Josh Uche, where they picked up the bulk of their impact players is, and if they wait and stay pat. Yeah, like 96 is the end of the third round. But then once they get in the fourth round, it's like I think they have 120, 122, like 136. That spot, you're losing on so many impact players at 46 and 96. You're losing out on 50 players. And I think if you trade down from 15, you're going to get a lot of impact players if you do decide to do that.
I wouldn't be I don't think they'll trade out of the first round. I think if they did, they would trade into the 20s. I mean, maybe even hit the couple 30 picks. Do something like that, pick up the extra second rounder just to bridge that gap. And I really wouldn't be opposed to it because, this is another thing we can talk about as well, but and we have a little bit, but someone's going to fall, right? Like not every quarterback I don't think will be taken in the top 10. I don't think, even if that happens, then a guy like J.C. Horn or
Jalen
Waddle, yeah, the wide receivers won't be there too. So someone will fall, Micah Parsons, and it really just depends on how much you like those bigger name guys. And if you don't, then just trade down and get that pick.
Yep.
I'm really open to it because if you can take Zaven Collins instead of Micah Parsons, if you like him better at 25,
and then add like a pick in the 30s or 40s,
and you
It's
end
the
up
same
with
thing that we
Mond,
did last year.
that's a way better situation.
Yeah, it's the same thing where you fill two holes with two not as good players as the main guys that are getting all the media attention. Like last year, where we had the pick, we could have taken Patrick Queen or Kenneth Murray, the linebackers that everyone was clamoring about. But you trade down, you get Kyle Duggar, who no one had heard of up until that point, except for Coach Belichick's dog. Nike reference. And then you fill the need at safety, and then you go and you get Josh Uche, who I'm sure I'm not the big college guy. Matt, you're the Michigan fan, so I'm sure he had been getting some attention by the people that actually watch college football. But as me, I'd heard the name before. I didn't really know much about him. I'd certainly known more about Queen and Murray. But again, you filled two needs with two players that sure might not have been as good or highly touted as Murray or Queen. But trading down fills that gap in between the what they have 15, 46, and 96. And I don't think Bill Belichick's going to only take 3 picks in the
There's
first
no
round.
way, and you'd be a fool too. The thing about Duggar as well is I believe that it was Nick Casario, whoever, said that they had like 3 guys they were eyeing, and
they got and Uche and Duggar.
2 of them,
the
and
other
it's like,
were
well,
2 of
what
them.
was the pick they had last year? 23.
Yeah.
They had 23.
So
yeah.
they
And then
could've-
traded that for. I have that right.
So they could have picked
Yes,
they could have picked Duggar at 23 or gotten value, add Jennings, Uche,
Yeah.
and get them at a different
Like
point.
the
So
draft's
that's-
all a value thing too, right? That's all
Yeah.
about draft value. It's like
I mean, that's all true, and I agree 100%, except the fact that we need a quarterback. Like
Exactly.
If,
That's the one. That's the one thing
Yeah.
where you can look at this and say it. There's your.
I'll give
your
you a
other
stipulation. If at 15, if Mac Jones is there, just like do
Take
it.
him.
Take him.
I agree.
Or whoever. If a quarterback falls to 15, and again, it just depends on how much you like him. If they really don't like Jones and they really like Fields, or vice versa, then do that. Do whatever your option is at that point. If a quarterback that you like falls, take him. But in this hypothetical, where the quarterbacks kind of push back a lot of some of the upper tier players that fill better needs, that would be what I would say to do.
See, the thing is, like, and I don't, like, I've been wanting them to trade up. I don't want them to trade up just for the sake of trading up. I just want them to get a quarterback, whether that's at 15 or if it's a couple more spots up, just because that's what they're willing to give up to get their guy. Just get your guy. Like, I don't care how you do it. It's like, I don't want to to take another mid-round quarterback. Like, it feels like you're just drafting another Jarrett Stidham, another shot in the dark where you don't know what you're going to get. Whereas in the first round, you have a much like higher probability of getting like your future at that position.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a higher probability. I know what you mean,
you know
but
what I mean.
you're more likely you're getting a prospect that's more likely to hit on where you want a franchise quarterback to be, rather than saying, "Oh, let's take a defensive lineman at 15 and hope that we hit on Davis Mills or Kellen Mond." But I feel like knowing Belichick, he's 100% going to do that. He's going to trade down.
It wouldn't shock me one bit.
because he's a defensive coach. And then, but there's one thing that he's for years has been taking defense first and then hoping he can get a shot in the dark quarterback, because that's what he had for 20 years. But at this point, the way you see the Dolphins, who already have Tua, but I don't trust that at all.
Obviously, counting the Dolphins out, they're not taking the quarterback. We know that.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying you're in a division where the Dolphins, if they want to have Tua as their franchise quarterback, that's their franchise quarterback. I'm not sold on him, but the Bills have their franchise quarterback, and the Jets are most likely Zach Wilson, unless it's a major
The Jets will be
smoke
drafting their franchise quarterback.
Yes.
Yes. All 3 of your division rivals currently have their franchise quarterback, and you're sitting here with a Bridge and Jarrett Stidham, who is yet to start a game in his career. You need to get a quarterback immediately, and whether that's trade your first rounder and your second rounder and a first rounder next year, if you think the value that you're getting at 8, 7, wherever you trade up is worth it, go
can't-
for it. Like, don't even hold back. Just you need
can't
a quarterback
overpay
now.
for
You
a
can't go
franchise
into this
quarterback.
season having another. You got to know who your guy is for the next 6
Okay.
plus years.
This is my counter to that is like I agree, but also I think the thing that will make this draft a success. It sounds so lame to say, but just draft the best player you can. It doesn't matter what position they are, just get a bona fide stud starter, and I don't think anyone will complain, even if it's not a quarterback. If you get J.C. Horn, Michael Parsons, whoever it may be, just get the best player you can, and that is the only way this is successful. Because I'm not going to be picky about a position. If you pick Mac Jones sucks, and Micah Parsons or Jalen Waddle or Devontae Smith or Zaven Collins, whoever it may be, turns out to be a star, I mean, we're just going to sit back and do this whole thing again about, reevaluating the draft process and all this. I mean, how many times are we like this first round thing? We need a Chandler Jones, Devin McCourty, Dante Hightower, Jamie Collins, like that caliber of player with because we've never had this high of a pick. So
We need a 2010 type draft where you get Devin McCourty, Rob Gronkowski, and Aaron Hernandez in the same
because
draft.
even if you don't find your franchise quarterback, if you can just make the rest of the team better, you will find it at some point. Maybe it's through the draft or not. You're gonna get it. Just become the best team you can possibly be.
So here's a factor that's gonna impact this heavily. Jimmy Garoppolo. What if that trade comes to life and they let's say they send like a future second or third for Jimmy Garoppolo?
No,
Please, no.
I was high on Garoppolo. I was very high on Garoppolo coming into this offseason. I was like, I want Garoppolo. I want Garoppolo to come back here. I feel like that would be a match made in heaven. But then, we get all these rumors of us trading up, and we love Justin Fields.
Well, that's not
and
my point.
We spend all this.
It's like,
Well, I'm just
yeah,
saying.
okay.
I don't want to give up a second round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo when that second round pick could be used to fill either a trade to get another quarterback that would give you more longevity at that position, or just take it at another position of need. Don't waste out a quarterback where at that point, if you trade for Garoppolo, you're either going to have Cam or Jimmy as your backup. And I know we hate on Cam here, but those are two NFL caliber starting quarterbacks. You're wasting your money just having one sit on the bench. So I feel like
okay.
Garoppolo at this point,
No,
you know what I mean, though.
Well, listen to this. Like Cam Newton's only making $3 million guaranteed.
Yeah,
He's
he's being
is
paid
backup
backup money.
That is
Yeah.
backup money. If you send a second pick, which it might not even take a second round pick, but like just hypothetically speaking, if you trade for Jimmy G, he's most likely going to be your starter. So he's your.
100%.
So what I mean is like if you miss out like on a quarterback in the first round, like you say they didn't like him enough to trade up, or there's none available at 15, or they trade down. Like if that happens, then do you want a Jimmy G trade?
I just think it kind of poses the question to you of, okay, so if a second or third is the value for Jimmy G in this hypothetical,
Yes.
would you rather trade that for Jimmy G or take a shot at Trask, Mills, Mond?
That's the question.
See,
And I
here's
don't-
where
I-
hold on.
I'm torn on that one.
Yeah, I feel like Matt needs to.
Matt, what do you
weigh in
think?
on this,
Because
Matt's the big
Here's
caller.
the
To
thing.
me, but before you say that, Matt,
Yeah, no, go.
I would just say that that it kind of comes down to like how you want to mold the quarterback position. If you feel like Jimmy G's a 5 out of 10, you can hit on that 5 out of 10. That don't do it for Mond, but if Mond, you can somehow hit that ceiling. We know what Jimmy G's. Basically, what I'm saying is we know what Jimmy G's ceiling is. We don't know what those quarterbacks are. Take the risk because we can't just keep getting by, and Jimmy G is a getting by kind of quarterback.
Yeah, and Jimmy G's more for the now, not the future, obviously.
Yeah.
So he's like he can be your bridge quarterback, but he also doesn't have to be one for 1 year. He could stick around for a couple years. He's not as
Yeah, he just has to be bridging something, and that's why I was like,
he's not your long term, but he's also not like a 1 year rental. Especially if they give up a second round pick, they obviously love the guy. I think they would hang on to him for a few years. I think.
If they gave up a second, they would have spent 2 seconds on Jimmy, which would be kind of funny. But Matt, you were saying,
And they also got one.
Yeah,
for
no.
him.
true.
You guys kind of said what I was thinking, and I was thinking too. If you're trading for Garoppolo, then that means something probably went wrong. because if you're weighing the options here, you're either getting Justin Fields probably, or you're getting Jimmy Garoppolo. So if you're going with Jimmy, you better hope that you're not in the same position picking 15 again, and there's rumors of trading out for another quarterback in 2 years or so. You're probably trading for Jimmy, unlike you guys said, to be a bridge quarterback. I think they would be trading for Jimmy to be here for 5+ years.
But does he have the health to say that?
See, that's the question.
That's the big
or
question.
do you want to look back at that? Do you want to look back at that like a Mohamed Sanu trade? Like, oh, they just wasted a second on someone that can't play a full season, isn't that good anymore. They could have traded up to get a Justin Fields, a Trey Lance, and Mac Jones.
And that's when you can weigh the option too. Is Mon going to come in on day one and be better than Jimmy would be? And he's probably a healthier option.
See, like, and what Matt you just said that if Jimmy G would be like the fallback if they couldn't trade up. I almost think like I feel Cam Newton is really the fallback, and that's why he's back in the first place because they like Cam Newton, and he's like an emergency. It's like because I think Jimmy G or a draft pick are like their first two options. Like I couldn't tell you which one was number one, but like regardless, I think they either want Jimmy G or they want a draft pick, and I bet you there's at least one quarterback like either like in the first 2 rounds that they like. It's just a matter of if that Fields and will they trade up for him, or if it's Mac Jones, does he make the 15? That kind of thing. That's my guess, anyways.
Yeah, no, I think there's 2 plans here. It's either you go with the young kid or your fallback's probably Jimmy.
Like, because if we get a guy in the first round, I'm more than happy to have Cam Newton be the bridge quarterback. I'm fine with that. But
it's like that one of those questions: would you rather compete for a championship in the next 2 years, or have a longer shot of competing for a championship in the next 10 years? Like you probably have a longer future with a younger quarterback, but then again, you don't want to risk him turning out to be a complete bust.
yeah,
Whereas Jimmy probably gives you a better chance to win
Right.
now, but you don't have that long-term future.
that's that's the thing we've talked about. Like this team seems to be more built to win now than long term. I mean, obviously you could say that now because like they're only signed for like 4 years. Like how much longer do you sign a player for? But my point is like we're built to win now. While that's true, and Jimmy G helps you win now, like you still need a long term quarterback regardless. And like maybe they view Jimmy, like Matt said, maybe they view Jimmy as a longer term guy.
That's
for
what
like
I might think,
for
right?
like
I don't
5-ish
know.
years. Like they might, they love him for some reason. Like I think he's good, but not that good.
It's such an impossible question because
yeah.
I feel like since the day Brady left, we've kind of been running through that. Like, well, they didn't take one in the draft. Does that mean Stidham's it? And we can't get an answer to it. And maybe that's because they can't provide one. I think the worst situation for us would be if we passed on a quarterback at 15, and that quarterback ended up being like pretty stellar. I think that would kind of be the perfect storm.
You thought N'Keal Harry was bad? You thought N'Keal Harry was bad? Yeah.
I mean, like fan perspective would really bad, and I mean, trust me, I'd be in that mob too. But I think that it also just we've kind of been able to rationalize every move. Like, look, don't trade up. You don't want to ruin your future, so that makes sense. Look, the team was good enough with Cam to not have a top pick, so don't tank. That's a bad decision, anyways. We've justified pretty much every position or every move they've made as far as quarterback being like, okay, but we need to see a little more. If they have the option to take a first-round quarterback and like let it pass, and Mac is there at 15, and they take like Barmore, Waddle, or something, that would be a pretty unbelievable situation. And you better pray that whoever that quarterback is sucks.
Like imagine like Fields falls to 15 somehow, and they pass on him.
If they pass on him, you must think that there's character concern
Like
there.
that,
Something.
Or some-
it's
they
like
don't like
another
him.
Lamar
And-
Jackson case.
And that's the thing. Like that can happen. And I think that
I definitely wouldn't put it past him.
no, because
if there's
if
a
you say
massive-
like
yeah.
if you're like my quarterbacks are of the available ones, we have 3 that are realistic. Like we love Lance, we're indifferent about Fields, and we hate Mac. Say that was the way they had it panned out, and you're sitting there with Fields, and they're like, look, this is the guy we didn't want. There was a lot of stuff he doesn't fit our system, whatever it may be, and they let him pass. That's fine because that's the way they feel about it, and they want to take the best player available. But then if Fields turns out amazing, you just run into this whole like that is when you legitimately can start. That would be the first time anyone can really truly say with good backing, like Belichick, maybe not amazing at drafting.
Grant, you have you are a very big Justin Fields hater. We all know
Obviously.
that. You despise him. How would you feel if we were to pass on him to just like if he's there at 15?
I've been speaking.
Like, how would you feel? Like, you are obviously know that the Patriots need a quarterback for the long-term future. Justin Fields, I personally like Justin Fields.
Right.
I know you don't.
Right.
But how would you feel if then we pass on him at 15 and he goes somewhere else and does amazing?
Kind of like Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, well, Lamar one is not really comparable because
See,
we
but
weren't
Lamar
went
was
to
like
Baltimore,
the
so-
Lamar
We
was
weren't
like
looking
the
for a
fifth best
quarterback.
quarterback in his draft.
yeah,
but
like,
they
and
worked
it's-
him out. They worked him out, and Josh reportedly loved him.
I know, but like
Like, why would you're not going to work out a quarterback?
this is such
if
an
you're not looking for one.
unbelievable, or such a roundabout debate because it's like
Let's not go down that rabbit hole.
we
right
didn't
now.
need a
Let's
quarterback anyways, so we drafted a positional
Wow.
need.
Yeah.
We did.
We could have just taken him at we could have taken him.
We
at
won a Super
31
Bowl that
and
year.
dra-
Well, yeah, but like, if we took a quarterback,
We coulda used him at
if
running
we took
back.
a quarterback, then we wouldn't be having this discussion at all. That's just that's a
Right,
fair
but you're not
second
going to let
guess.
Lamar sit on the bench. He was
For 2
clearly,
years?
He was clearly an
3
MVP
years.
caliber player for like. So you're going to let him sit for 2-3 years?
What draft was
No.
that? That was the 2018
18.
draft,
It was
right?
18.
So you had 18 with
2018.
Brady and you had 19 with Brady. So you would have let him sit for 2 seasons.
Brady
Yeah,
was
2
coming
seasons.
off an MVP season and then won
Yeah,
a
I
Super
don't know,
Bowl.
Yeah,
like,
and then he
what-
left.
Right, but the Patriots didn't intend for him to leave. It's not they were like sitting down and being like, all right, well, he's going to
Brady-
be gone
But
in
you don't spend a
2019.
first round
Like,
pick
like-
for him to rot on the bench. Look at Mahomes. Mahomes
Yeah, what-
was on the bench for a year.
Mahomes, yeah, it doesn't.
Like maybe
Doesn't
one,
matter.
but you can't say 2. That does. I mean, that's
No.
it would.
You can make
My
him-
ADHD is
you can-
kicking
would-
in. Grant, just answer
It
the
would have
question.
totally,
Go ahead.
it totally would have turned into the Jimmy Garoppolo situation again, where we
No.
drafted a quarterback and then we would have traded him, and people would be like, "Oh my god, look at this guy."
No, he wouldn't have.
Anyways,
It's a little
your
different.
question, Ethan, about Fields is,
Yeah.
I mean, I've spoken completely unbiasedly, like trying not to deal with my like whole like Justin Fields thing, and clearly my Justin Fields thing is purely college football fandom related. So what if I'm talking about Justin Fields, I'm only speaking from that perspective. Look, Fields to me is I mean, from what I've seen of him, is a legitimate first round quarterback that any team that needs a quarterback would want to take.
Top
You want
five
to take
talent.
that shot on him. You would take that shot on him. I don't see why you wouldn't. But if they passed on him, obviously I'd get my jokes in. If he excelled somewhere else, as a Patriots fan, I'm going to be like, well, that sucks we couldn't get him. But as a Georgia fan and as someone who has very outspokenly had jokes with y'all and jokes with people about Justin Fields, I would relish in that moment of passing on him and making fun of Jake. But I mean that's the two sides of it. So at the end of the day, you just want what's the coach answer. You just want what's best for the team, right? So that's
Yeah.
I'm not unreasonable with Justin Fields and legitimately
I mean,
a delusional
it's-
person who is going to say like if he performs elsewhere like well, I'm going to be like good we passed on him.
Yeah.
Jake's
yeah.
gonna clip
It's
that and
sort
be
of
like,
what happened with
Grant's a
Stidham.
Fields fan.
You hate
The Stidham thing's a little different.
you hated Stidham coming out of college, and now you have his
Yeah,
jersey.
it was a gift. It was a gift.
Did you ask for it?
So we have that was gonna be my like I asked for a jersey, but
And what? How did you react to that jersey? You're like, oh fuck, I hate this guy, and then you sort of just had to.
no,
to
I
accept
actually
it.
look, yes. If you're at,
You gotta choose
if you're,
your words
if you're
carefully
asking me
right now.
if I feel differently about Stidham than I did the day that we drafted him, you would be correct.
Yes. Okay.
But it's also not
still not
not
your favorite?
comparable because it's Justin Fields for Stidham. Like I've been on the Justin Fields thing for a lot longer than I just Stidham was like, oh my god, this guy Fields is like this guy. We've talked way too long on that and no one cares. So
No. I don't even know.
I don't know where we are, what we want to talk about more. Talked a lot about the quarterback situation. I'm ready to stop talking about that too. So if we could
was
just
gonna
draft
say-
a quarterback so we don't have to keep talking about this. Because
be
I
nice.
thought this was going to end in the last draft and then it didn't. So even if we take like Davis Mills or Trask or whoever it is, like it'll at least just shut us up. Oh, it's the who was that? The Colts guy that was like, if I take a
Mercer.
quarterback, you'll get off my case about it for a week or a month, but then the second that guy starts playing bad, you'll be the first one to tell me I made the wrong pick. So Yeah, we'll probably end up taking like Kellen Mond or Davis Mills or whoever, and it'll be another couple off seasons of everyone printing the T-shirts and claiming that guy is the next Tom Brady or whoever it is, and yeah, so and we'll fall in love with him.
If Davis Mills comes here, I am going to be rattling off Billy Madison jokes until the day he is released from the team.
People will fall in love with him just like Stidham and go crazy, and because everyone's so thirsty for the next quarterback. Rightfully so, but not enough to make Jarrett Stidham a guy that you start making a hashtag out of.
Let's say we don't take a quarterback. Who else do you think? What other position do you think they could target in the first round? Like corner,
two
or
episodes
linebacker.
on that. Yeah, so we went through wide receiver, we went through running back, we went through quarterback, we went through all like the big offensive positions.
Right.
Yeah,
Let's look at some defense.
Okay, earlier Ethan said he was like, we have a lot of holes everywhere. I don't think so. I don't think that there's many holes on this team. If we could just put like stellar quarterback in place, that would be arguably the best team in the NFL or close to up there. I think they have additional depth pieces they can add. They can fill in some pieces of defensive line. They could use an edge rusher. It'd be nice to have another linebacker. The corner situation would be really nice to shore up because we have 2 free agents next year. I think I have corner as like the number one most. I'm most confident we'll take a corner somewhere in the draft. I put that list out. So yeah, if you want to talk about corner, I think that's the best place to do it.
I could very well see them taking a corner in the first round because I can't imagine both Gilmore and Jackson will be on the roster in 2022 because they're both up. You can't. I have a hard time seeing them bringing back both. So let's say they bring back one of them. You need someone for the future. I don't think Williams is really going to be much of a factor. So I could see them taking a corner like rather early in this draft.
It could be a first round pick. It could be a 7th round. I really don't know where they would do it. But I just feel like they will, and I don't. It kind of seems like no matter like we're only gonna get one Gilmore or JC in the next year. So unless you love Jalen Mills, who I think honestly might be more of a safety this year, depending on how they use him, you're real like, and that's one thing Belichick has really done a good job of is never putting outside a few years. Never putting like bad corners on the field. That's always the position I feel like we've had the most shirt up, at least in the last decade. So, 2nd round DB again.
Yeah, probably.
That's gonna be. I think the jokes people will get off is Patriots trading down 2nd round DB, guy from a small school no one had ever heard of,
Robert Rochelle from Central,
and then falling in love with the UDFA.
Yeah.
A couple like miscellaneous things. The Falcons are going to decide the first round.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, 100%.
So what the
Falcons and
do,
Niners.
Do we want to just
yeah.
take this last few minutes and just kind of throw some predictions out there so we can sound really smart in a couple months or maybe or I guess in a couple days if we can get the picks right.
Like tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow in the first round. But I was thinking, yeah.
Who do you think the Niners pick?
Oh, that's a great one. Yeah, we'll go around the league. What do we think?
Or let's just do our first round mock, all 4 of us.
Yeah, everybody, let's pick a different player. That's a good idea, Ethan. And then we can kind of talk about the rest of the league. So everyone, I'll go last. Jacob, you start.
Wait.
Ethan second, Matt third, and
Wait, so how are we doing this?
just your prediction. Who we're taking if we say
At 15?
say 15, or who we're taking first round. Our first selection.
Our first
selection.
Okay. So, like,
I think no, that's too vague.
No.
I think we
No,
gotta
no,
do
no,
it.
no.
If we trade up, who you think we're gonna
No,
take
no,
at
no, no,
15,
no.
and if we trade
Just
down.
keep it as first selection.
Okay.
first selection. I think it'll be Mac Jones at 15.
Okay. Ethan.
So I'm torn because the Patriots had this thing where on their website, if you can guess who they take with their first pick correctly, you can get a signed jersey of anyone on the team of your choice.
Okay, I want you to give
for
me
me-
who you would want signed. If you could have a signed jersey
Who I would want signed
of
jersey,
anyone on the team, and I still need your prediction.
probably Gilmore or Andrews. or Bailey.
Yeah, that was what I was expecting.
Yeah. But for that, I put Eric Stokes.
Eric Stokes is our first selection.
Eric Stokes. So I'm gonna sound like the smart one of the podcast and say our first pick is gonna be Eric Stokes.
Alright.
You can laugh at me all you
No,
want.
I'm not
just saying,
I'm not
Eric
laughing.
Stokes.
I'm not laughing.
I'm not laughing.
No, Matt's
I'm
laughing.
not
laughing.
laughing. I'm just thinking about that, and honestly, you're probably
He's just chuckling.
no, you're
Matt.
probably actually on track because he's the kind of corner that they like. But I'm gonna go bold with mine because why not go bold and whatever. I'll say they trade back and take Zayvon Collins. I'll stick with my guy.
Yeah, I knew Zayvon Collins would be your
Yeah.
pick, so
I'll stick with my
Um,
guy.
I think that a safety is an underrated need, so I'm gonna go with
Yep.
Trayvon Moehrig. Is that how you say his last name?
Yep.
All right, nailed it. I think that they're gonna go with him with
Let
the first
Jacob try and
selection.
pronounce it.
Whether that's
Don't even try.
a lot of reasons for that being, I think he's one of the best safeties in the class, and we haven't heard his name tied to the Patriots once. That's something that I think
Something you gotta
gets
monitor.
underrated in the draft. Look at every first round selection we made. How many times did you ever see them mocked or talked about to the team? You didn't. So that's just the way I looked
was
at
Duggar
it.
even
but
talked about?
there's- I don't think Duggar was talked about. And
I
not
hadn't
like
even
to the
heard
past.
of him before we picked him.
Yeah, you're a liar if you told me you knew who Kyle Duggar was for the draft.
He had no links to the Patriots.
I did.
So that'll be interesting. Like,
Dude he went to the high school that was like 20 minutes away from me, and I never heard about him. That's like he was nobody. So yeah, the Falcons gonna decide the whole draft, whatever they do. So if we want to take people, like, what do we think the Niners do?
I was just gonna say, like, first it starts with the Niners. Like, if they take Mac Jones, that could have a huge effect. Like, because
What if the Niners don't take a QB?
I can't imagine. You're not gonna give up 3 first-round picks to not take a quarterback.
That's like Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts, baby.
No, that'd be so
Pitts is
stupid.
worth
That'd be
it.
the dumbest
Oh,
thing.
I don't think that would be stupid. And you know what? Kyle Shanahan
dumbest
could
thing.
do it, and people wouldn't call it stupid.
I'd say that's the dumbest thing. Why would Jimmy G be on the market right now?
I don't know. But is he on the market? Because every single Niners, and I know
They've
that
been
no one in
engaging with the
organ-
Patriots for the last, like, 2 months.
So we've heard from Bruins reporters, but when every night, like, from what people are also hearing too, is that the Niners are like actually like still invested in Jimmy G.
Are they, though? I don't think they are. Like, I mean, they're going to Mac Jones and Justin Fields.
Cardinals said
I
that
don't
about
think-
Rosen,
they're
Yeah, they
not-
got the top 3 pick. Why would they not be there? You're still evaluating the position.
Yeah, they're taking a quarterback, Grant. They're not. They're
Okay,
taking
I'm
a
just
quarterback.
look. I think they're taking a quarterback. I was just trying to play a little bit of devil's advocate and saying, what if they don't? So fine, they take a quarterback. Who do you think they're going to take? The odds favorite would be Mac Jones. Do I think they take Mac Jones? I don't think so. But I'm also the conspiracy person. My tinfoil hat is on too tight, and I've been saying that Justin Fields is going 2, and that we're looking at like Lance 3, and all this junk. So.
I'm gonna Eric Stokes may be a little out of the ordinary, so I'm gonna play both sides of the coin. So I'm not wrong. I'm going Eric Stokes and or Justin Fields.
Right.
Just saying.
Yeah, just take 2 picks so you have a leg up on us.
Or Trey Lance or Mac Jones or Zayvon Collins
Micah
or
Parsons.
Micah
Or
Parsons.
Trevor
Yeah,
Lawrence.
we just say all the names and we'll piece it together and we'll be like, yeah, we were
Say
right.
all top 32 prospects.
Yep.
Right, and then they'll still trade out of the
Micah
first round.
Parsons.
Trade out of the first round and take like Richie.
All right, so
Grant
what do we think
at
the Falcons
15,
doing?
at
Quarterback?
20.
Pitts.
I don't think they do quarterback. They might do Pitts.
I think
Yeah,
it's
I
Pitts.
think Pitts.
I think it's Pitts.
I think Pitts is the move. I mean, it would.
Pitts or trade
I
back.
think defense is clearly what
Yeah,
they
Pitts
would
will
need.
trade back. I'm agree with Matt.
I don't.
Yeah,
I
there's
think
no
they're going to stay
defensive player
put.
we're taking at 4.
But there's no defensive player worth taking. So unless they they pull a Raiders in what year was that? 2018 when they took
Yeah,
Clelin Ferrell at
Pharrell or
5.
whatever.
Oh, that was brutal.
Yeah, so that was a tough one. Unless they pull that and they take like I don't know, Micah Parsons there or something, or J.C. Horn, a corner,
Cool.
that would be kind of wild. So yeah, I would say Pitts is the move. I think Falcons fans, I can't wait for it because this can be a Falcons fan civil war. No matter what they do, if they take Pitts, you're gonna have the Falcons fans that are like, because maybe it's just because I'm surrounded by it, but I feel like they have been the most analyzed group of fans or vocal group with this draft because They have people who want a quarterback. They have people who want wide receivers. They have people that want a tight end. They have people saying that they should trade that pick. They have some people thinking they should get a defensive player at that position. No matter what happens, that fan base is going to be like freaking out.
And Grant, you did say on record that if the Falcons take a quarterback with their first pick, you are going on the
Yeah,
Tom Brady
I'll do the TB12 method
1
for a week. 5 days. 5 days, not a week.
No, you can't change it now. You
That
can't
a
change
school
it now.
week. I
It's
think
a
I said a
week.
school week.
What?
School week.
Fine.
Bro,
Split the difference into
5
6
days
days.
to eat avocado
6 days.
ice cream, bro.
Oh god.
Come on.
No
It's your own
strawberries.
fault for making the deal.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like you
So
want to
what
go
do we?
on it.
Well, it's like
It's
Jake,
like Jake
wants
like,
to eat
I
a dollar.
want to
He
eat
wants
a
to eat
dollar. Jake has a fetish for
Jake couldn't
eating
be on today,
dollars.
but he does have a dollar if we draft Asante Samuel Jr. and then he has mac and cheese. If it sounds crazy, right? But the dude is like hates mac and cheese, so it's like the worst thing you could have him eat. Eats mac and cheese if Parsons comes to the Pats. So that's the bets we have
If
on the
Parsons
line.
comes to the Pats?
Yeah,
I thought
if
it
we
was
take
Samuel.
Parsons.
I don't think that's out of possibility. I mean, come on.
Oh, it's
I
not.
think
Neither is
my
Asante
dream-
Samuel.
my
Parsons at
dream for
15 is not
my-
bad.
My dream for us right now would be the Falcons taking a quarterback at 4, then we take Micah Parsons and Asante Samuel. So we got to go Grant on the TB12 method. Jake's got to eat a dollar and mac and cheese.
We need to if he
And
if
I,
he hits
I'm
both,
pissed off
he has
he
to
didn't get a
put the
quarterback.
What was the thing? Matt, you said you'd eat a coin, right?
Did I say that?
That can't be healthy, bro.
I have the screen. I have a
Who do you
screenshot
hate?
somewhere.
Is it-
What is up with us wanting to eat?
Y'all gonna get COVID.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not. I'm gonna go on the
Matt,
TB12
Matt, you said you were gonna eat a toonie if Jones goes at 3.
All right, fine.
Bro,
I don't know
you
how I
will.
can do that, but okay.
Why would you make that? He's gonna.
No,
he
he's
goes,
not.
I'll eat a fucking toonie if Jones goes at 3, and I don't even know how I'd
Yeah,
eat
eat a
one.
coin. Like
I'd have
that's
to like
gonna,
melt it.
kill
There's
you.
no way that would even happen. So
How much is that worth?
$2.
All right, you
Wait,
can
wait,
eat
wait,
$2
wait,
bills.
wait, wait. What are you eating?
Yeah, you could eat $2
have to
bills.
send me
You
$2
and Jake could have
bills
a
on.
dollar bill off.
Canadian
have to send
currency,
me-
Jacob.
Oh,
You're gonna have to send me $2 bills.
Eat a coin. I feel like that's gonna like kill you,
Yeah, no.
or make you real sick.
I think Chris
It's
Angel
not.
did that a couple years ago.
Like that can't be good for you. A dollar is one thing. Even that's
Okay,
bad. Like,
off track.
Okay, it's wow. I would never.
I think we're perfectly
Yeah,
on.
that
The
was
fact that you
actually-
guys make that bet is just crazy to me. but-
Welcome to like history
Well, some
class.
of us
You,
aren't
man.
cowards and put our reputation on the line. To
Eat a dollar.
so yeah, we got the draft tonight. We'll be
Live streaming after.
wait
Yes.
we're
So
waiting for
we're
it.
so we're gonna be live streaming after the first round, which would
Yeah.
be like around what you think 10:30, 11
yeah
o'clock.
somewhere there.
Yeah.
So whenever whenever we get to the final couple of picks, I mean it's like for sure we're not gonna be trading back into it.
Go live.
We're gonna go live and we're gonna give you our reactions. We're gonna play a little compilation of our reactions to our pick, assuming we make one.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, everyone we're
all gonna
videoing
record
video
ourselves
yourself
to
for
each pick.
the reactions.
Assuming yeah.
I'm probably gonna post them along with my drafted post. I'm probably gonna have a swipe
I'll-
and my reaction.
I'm
emails.
gonna have I'm gonna just whenever Justin Fields goes, like starting at 2. I'm gonna just record
That's what
it.
you started doing at every Pat's pick. And you're like, oh, that's not Jake Fromm.
Yeah, every single yeah, I know.
Jacob, I'll send you this audio so you could put in right now. But Grant last year, every single pick
I
was
think
like,
I
that's not Jake
I
Fromm.
was waiting for
I
the-
remember that. I remember
the-
hearing that.
Basically, the gif in The Office where Aaron is like spraying Michael down with the champagne was the hopes I was videoing myself for in the selection of Jake Fromm. And
Oh, are you listening to music? No.
yeah,
I think I had that. video.
so that was what I was hoping for. But
Like,
hopefully
I'm
we get some good stuff.
I'm gonna do something probably similar to Grant. I'm just gonna like record with my webcam as I watch.
And you'll just be sitting there, just like
I'm just gonna be
stone
sitting there next to
face,
my
like-
mic with my
interesting.
grunt face, and I'm gonna
Devontae
grunt at every
Smith. Nice little player.
every time we don't pick a quarterback. I'm just gonna grunt into the microphone.
Scoff. Just scoff
Yeah.
at the screen.
Old man
and-
yells at cloud.
Yeah, always.
Exactly. Or man yells at TV.
Old
But
man yells at TV.
so we're gonna play a compilation for you guys, and then we're gonna give you our thoughts, and then we'll be taking your calls as
Hopefully
well.
that works. We're gonna try.
We're,
it
we're
for
gonna
first time.
we're gonna test it beforehand.
Yeah.
But like how it works is like we're gonna put a link in our bios, and it's gonna direct you to get an app called Riverside. You just install that. You don't have to make an account or anything. All you have to do is when we are live, you hit that link, you put in your name, and you can be sitting in the waiting room until we pop you in, and you can give us our thoughts for just give us a thought or two, and we can have a little discussion, and then you'll be on your way.
Who do you want the most? There we go. We'll finish it with this. Who do you want the most? And you can't obviously just say Trevor Lawrence. Realistically, who do you want the most?
It's
Well,
Mac
same order.
Jones. I want
Mac
Mac
Jones.
Jones because I think he can
Okay.
play. I think he can play, and I want a quarterback.
I like Mac Jones. I'm actually a Mac Jones guy. I just don't want Mac Jones at like 4.
Well, obviously.
I want to trade up for Justin Fields or Trey Lance. 1A and 1B.
Okay, so like, well, let me change my
Dream pick, Matt.
Man, I'm honestly gonna go off the rails and say Jalen Darden. Just
Yeah. But like first round.
First
what's your
round.
First round one.
first round. That's tough. You can't not say a quarterback, so I'll say probably Mac Jones as well, but not
And
Trey.
I say
Not
Mac
trading.
Jones because like I don't think Justin Fields is realistic.
Yeah,
I
same
would
here.
love
I would have
Justin
said
Fields.
Fields, but
I would love Justin Fields.
I
And
would
if you-
say Lance is my.
Okay, yeah,
take any of
yeah.
The realistic.
but he
I would
might
take
be
Lance.
even more unrealistic. So
Right.
Yeah, he is, but if it's a dream. So,
like,
and then
yeah,
outside of him, Devontae Smith.
Like
I'm all in on
unrealistic.
him.
Unrealistic. I would say Fields. Realistic. I want Mac Jones.
yeah, I'll say outside chance. I would say Lance, and unrealistic would be Jones.
I mean, so and I think it's more likely we trade down than up, but on the off chance we do trade up, like obviously I would like Justin Fields. I mean, and I wouldn't be upset. Like, I'm not picky with which quarterback we get. I just want a quarterback. I want them to target.
I'm
Like
picky.
I've said
I
a
think we're
million
all
times.
with you on that.
If it isn't who Nike wants,
Yep.
I don't want him. I actually, this is the prediction I'll leave you with. I think this draft will be very un-Belichick. I don't think.
Well,
it's
it's the
going to be
first draft without
typical-
Casario. Can we say
Right.
that?
The Zigman is in.
Ziggler.
Mario is holding him back.
And, like I think like Ziggler is kind of like allowed more of a how do I
Sit
put it?
back
Like
approach, laid back approach.
or like
He's gonna-
it's just a different approach, like more options because like they've been uncharacteristically
Right, that's what I was about to
aggressive,
say.
and they've been making a bunch of calls. Like I think it's just more. I think he's just more open more
Due
possibilities.
diligence. type
He's
thing.
opened more possibilities to Belichick, like more viewpoints, and I think like it gives us a higher chance that we would trade up. But I mean, obviously, who knows? But I think it'll be really interesting what we we So
We'll
I
see.
mean, yeah.
We could be having my funeral on.
Oh god, I would be so. It would be. I'm like if I see like we trade up to pick whatever, let's say 4, and we pick Justin Fields, I will laugh.
My phone's
butt off.
going out the window.
Dude,
I'm
your
not
your
looking at
phone your phone might actually explode in your hand.
it. Yeah. Oh yeah. It would be. I think the only thing comparable maybe to that would be when like the Falcons were up 25 on the Patriots, and I think every person I knew was texting me. I think that's the only thing that could happen that would get that many people to blow my phone up at one time.
Oh wow, you're popular.
No, I basically just said there's only 2 things in the entire world that would get people to text me. I think I said the opposite of me being popular.
So you're a loner. What we've gotten is you're a popular loner,
Happily
as they-
miserable.
as they like
Happily
to say.
miserable.
I'm happily miserable. All right, we'll see you guys. I don't know what.
a few hours.
Whatever.
A few hours. We will see you tonight.
See you tonight.
Adios.
Adios.
We'll
Adios.
see you tonight.
Adios.
Adios.